Hey everybody, it's Angelique. It feels like it has been quite a while since I saw you. I am happy to be back. This is phenomenal. I am back on the scene. Last week, I think you will all remember that I had a replay of one of my prior episodes. It was a beautiful lady by the name of Myra Torrance. She is a domestic violence survivor, and the thing is, she represents the deaf community. She was a deaf survivor of domestic violence, and it was such a powerful story that I had to replay it. I can't tell you how many people talked to me about that particular episode. So here I am again in a whole new week, episode 26. I cannot believe it, of my podcast, Silent No More. It is my weekly domestic violence awareness podcast. It's for awareness and action. That's the thing. Look at that. I got my early viewer in. Hey, Jacob. I'm doing really, really well. Good to see you too. Glad you tuned in. I appreciate you. So everybody, I'm Angelique Pierce. If you didn't know, I swear you've been under a rock. I'm Angelique Pierce, and I am the founder of Ladder Masters Inspirational Leadership Group, better known as Ladder Masters. I tell everyone that I am a survivor, but I am an advocate of freedom and truth, because it is speaking my truth that has made it possible for me to help other women, other victims, even men come forward, because domestic violence is no joke. I don't have to tell y'all. The statistics say that 1 in 4 women experience domestic violence in her lifetime. But I'm going to tell you something. I know for a fact that it's more than that. That's just what's reported. And I've got somebody here that can tell you a whole lot more about that. So I got a special guest tonight, and I'm excited, and she's in the background, and I can't wait to bring her on, because she is quite an amazing lady, and she is quite the diva. I like to think I am, but she is quite the diva. All right, so here we go. Thank you, Jacob. I see you tagging people. Listen, before we get started, if you are a part of a Facebook group, and I know that all of you are a part of some Facebook group somewhere at some point, right now, I want you to stop. I want you to hit that share button, wherever it is, on your phone, on your computer, on whatever you use. Hit that share button and share it to your Facebook groups, as many as you can. Tag somebody in right now. I appreciate it, because we're about to get started. Real quick, I tell everybody that I only speak for 3 reasons. If you ever hear me speaking for any other reason, I give you the right to tell me to shut up. All right? So my whole game, 3 things, is to bring awareness, to break down facades, and to build conquerors. Period. That's the only reason why I speak. That's it. All right. So I have got an amazing guest here today. She inspires me. She has accomplished something that I have yet to accomplish. She is amazing. I'll read a little bit of her bio in a second, but y'all want to meet her? Y'all want to see who she is? Because I told you already that she's quite the diva, right? I'm about to bring her on. Get your camera on, beauty. Bring your camera back on, because I'm about to show you to the audience. Are you ready? Are y'all ready? See, oh, you hear in the background? She said ready. 1, 2, 3. Boom! Hey, queen.
Hey.
Oh my gosh, we already have some people tuning in. I'm so excited. I am excited about you, because what you have to share, we have talked about this. We've had more than one conversation, but what you have to share is so important. Let's do this. This, as you can see on the screen, is Miss Latysha Coleman. I know some Colemans, right? I know some Colemans. I'm like, you might be related. You might be related to some Colemans.
Never know.
But I know. All right, listen, we are going to get started, but y'all know me. Before I get into anything, I always start with a word of prayer, because to me, this is not an easy topic to discuss, first of all. It never is. It's an important one, but it's never easy. And so at the end of the day, we need God guiding this conversation, protecting our hearts and our minds, and the hearts and minds of those who are listening, because that's important. So we're going to just pause for a second, say a quick prayer, and then we're going to jump into your story and your life and your amazing, amazing accomplishments. All right, you ready? So God, we come before you right now, thanking you yet again for another week of this Silent No More, this weekly podcast that brings more awareness, more action for domestic violence. God, I am sick of it. It happens everywhere. It doesn't matter what age, what race, how many degrees you have, what kind of car you drive. Trust me, domestic violence is pervasive. It's everywhere, not just in America, all over the world. So God, right now, I just thank you for this beautiful voice that is on the podcast with me today, Miss Latysha Coleman. God, she has a story and a half, Father. And she also has that infamous pain to purpose portion of her journey. So I can't wait to hear and have her share that with all the viewers today, Father, and even those who will watch the recording later. So right now I pray your protection and your covering over any other victims and survivors that are out there, Father. They need you. Trust me, they do, God. And if they haven't called out to you, Father, let them somehow hear you speak to them and remind them that you are right there with them. God, we thank you for all these things. We trust you that you will guide this conversation. I thank you for all these things. In the precious name of Jesus, we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Okay. I have been waiting for this moment. We had a little delay on having this conversation, just a little delay.
A little bit.
We had a little delay. But God is good because you and I have a commitment to this cause and to speaking out about this that it can't be compared, right? It can't be compared. So let me do my infamous let me do my quick bio intro, the one that's written, okay? You ready? Besides the fact that you earned by 85 degrees,
Wow.
besides the fact that you earned about 85 degrees,
Okay.
Latysha Coleman is a native of South Carolina. She's going to tell us more about that. Who's in Charlotte, proud mother of two amazing young men. All right. Who are your motivation? That's the part right there, because I got a motivation too back here. This little cutie that almost just disturbed me in the middle of our podcast. You have earned many things: an associate in public service and paralegal studies. You have a bachelor of arts in liberal studies from Belmont Abbey College. You have a master's in public administration from Strayer University. Boom, 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 boom. All these wonderful, wonderful things.
Yes.
The reason we are talking today is because you are a survivor of domestic violence.
Yes.
And you are now employed in something that we're going to talk about later, but as domestic violence counselor for the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Police Department. Yes. When I think about it, it just blows my mind, because you could have moved on and completely tried to forget what occurred, but your heart, your drive, your love for people said, I have to figure out how to give back in this area. So you are actually providing tools, you're providing resources to people who experience domestic violence. Probably mostly women are the ones you probably talk to the most. We'll get into that. But the whole point is not just to get out of that relationship, but to maintain a life that is free from abuse going forward. That's the whole point. So you're educating survivors. You are a trained victim advocate. I mean, you are a certified transition coach and motivational speaker. I could go on and on and on and on about how phenomenal I think you are. And I just appreciate you so much. So we are about to get into you, my dear. Now, listen, there's some people on here, some comments. Let me see what folks got to say. I see Jacob in here. He is tagging in everybody. Oh, I don't know who Unbreakable Queen is, but hello, I love Unbreakable Queen. I love that. Yes. Hello to you too. All right, so we are going to get started. We're going to start with Latysha first, okay?
Okay.
So I know who you are. I got a good sense of who you are, my lady. But before we get into your story and all that we want to discuss today, I know it's serious. But before that, let's talk about you.
Okay.
Let the people get to know who you are. Where you from? When you are not working, not getting your hustle on out there, what are we likely finding you doing? Okay. What's on repeat in your playlist? Like, we want to know a little bit about Latysha. I know some of these answers, but I'm gonna let the people know. I let the people know.
Okay. So I am from the infamous Andrews, South Carolina, that no one's ever heard of.
The infamous Andrews ain't nobody heard of.
It's a little speck on the map. So I always say 40 minutes from Myrtle Beach or 40 minutes from Charleston. Okay, yeah.
Okay, I can picture where you are now. Right. Still don't know where Andrews is.
They somebody Andrews. I mean,
Oh, it's not like Vegas or like New York, New York. It's not like LA, it ain't like that. Oh, God.
They call it LA Little Andrews, though.
So when you are not out there working for the survivors, working for the victims, speaking, writing, whatever, when you're not doing that, what else can we find you doing?
Working out, I love to walk. I like nature trails. It kind of just gives me that peace, just walking out in nature. I love that just to relax. I like to hang out with my girls, like to go to concerts and of course brunch and dinner, that kind of stuff.
Wait. I gotta back you up to the concerts because I like concerts.
Okay.
What concerts we talking about?
I like old school concerts. Old school.
Ooh, old school who?
Yes, old school. So the last concert I went to was about 3 weeks ago, and it was Keith Sweat, Bobby Brown, El DeBarge. I mean, yeah, old school. Okay, but it was so
wait. El DeBarge was there?
It sounded so good. Oh
I know they girl. Yes. And you said Keith Sweat. Now listen, here's the funny thing. Everybody has something to say about Keith Sweat because it was like, I wanna please you. It was like, is he whining or
yes. Oh my goodness.
I'm not quite sure what's happening right now.
But Brian McKnight, oh my gosh. I always see him now. That he has a beautiful voice. I enjoy him.
Oh my gosh. And he's got a little swag thing going on too.
He does.
Yeah.
With your head now. Okay.
See, let me tell y'all something. I know people have a tendency to think about domestic violence victims and survivors as like these people who are like crouched down in a corner and fearful. I get it. I understand that because there's moments that we can all think of when we were like that. But I do this as my intro to my podcast because we are real, cool, awesome people. Absolutely. And I want people to see that personable side of us, right? Because that's who we are. We're the bomb. We the bomb. Yes. They still say it. Yes. Just because they didn't see it, that's because they ain't the bomb. That's why. We the bomb.com. They still say the bomb.com. That's probably too old.
We old school. We can say it.
We old school. We can say that. So what's on repeat? So we already mentioned Keith Sweat. We talked about Brian McKnight. Are we like Tina Marie?
I do Tina Marie. I do Shaka Khan. I do Anita Baker. It just depends. I can do Biggie sometimes.
Biggie, wait a minute, man. That's my jam right there. We could do a little bit of Biggie right there. Hey. All right, we going out. That's it. We're going out. That's it.
I'm ready.
Oh, Queen, I'm so happy to have you on here. So happy. Okay, so here's the thing. We are going to get into your story. Okay. And it's a serious one, but we're going to go through the story because that was a lot. But we're going to get to the other side about why sometimes going through all that stuff brings out a piece of us that we never would expect it on the other side, right? Absolutely. So let me first ask you this, because there are some of us who've been through this and refuse to talk about it. Yeah. Like, I just ran into one of my colleagues and she was kind of like, I don't talk about it. I never bring it up. I don't mention it. And I'm like, wow. She's like, but you inspire me so much. She just said this at the end of last week. And I was just like, okay, you're going to make me cry. Like, stop. Yeah. So many survivors are really ashamed or even afraid to admit that they have been through domestic violence. Right. So my question for you is, what is it that makes you willing to come onto the show and really share your story and what you've been through?
Because I had the same experience. People always come to me saying they admire me. I inspire them. They look up to me, for my courage, for my strength, for my faith. I just felt like it was necessary, it happened to me, but I feel like it didn't happen for me. There are people out there who are still going through what I went through, who don't see how to get to the other side and don't have a visual of what that looks like or an example of how to do it. So I've always had that kind of heart to want to help, give back, advocate for people, especially women and children. So it came natural to me, to reach back to those who need that example, need that help, that hope.
Oh my gosh. Who is this? Who is this real quick? Who's that?
That's my sis.
Hey! That's your sister, like your blood sister?
May as well be.
Oh, I know that's right. Hi, Summer. It's crazy. I have a colleague Her name is Asia Ruffin, Asiya.
Okay.
Summer, would you happen to know a Asia Ruffin?
Mm.
She's from the Atlanta area. She's back in Atlanta right now. She works for Mercedes. You let me know if you know a person named Asia Ruffin,
Okay.
because
Never
that's
know.
my girl. That's my girl.
Okay.
So, all right. So look, Summer said, hi. Hey, girls.
Take your
Yeah,
hand.
I appreciate you. I do, because there are a lot of people that won't. I remember when I couldn't. Look, I
Yeah.
remember when I could not
Yeah.
speak it. I couldn't even admit it to myself.
It's
I was
hard.
still trying to figure out, like, did that just happen to me? And you know
Mhm.
how you know who you are, and the
Yes.
things that you would never look, she wrote back. Not sure we have family in Atlanta. Hey, we about to make some new connections. Um, and you're like, I almost can't admit to myself that that was me, because who was I? Who was that person
Right.
that you? I know you know what I'm talking about. We're gonna get to your story
Oh
right
yeah,
in a
absolutely.
second, because I look at you, and I'm sure you do the same thing with me and other people, and you're like, I cannot imagine her being in that moment.
Yeah, the
I
kids are
cannot imagine
beautiful,
you.
smart, educated. I mean, everything, professional. But when it comes to relationships and love, it's a totally different
It's a totally different
aspect of
thing.
it. Hmm.
It's a totally different thing. And I talk to you, and I'm just like, God, you almost like, I wish I knew you then, right? I wish I knew you then to say, oh no, I have got to help you get out of this. This is not, all right, so let me just shut up, because
That's what I do. What I do
I
now.
just you are
Yeah,
so, like, you're a special person. You really, really are. So, okay, you ready?
yeah, I'm ready.
Now, you survived domestic violence just
Hmm.
like me. And I want to go back to the beginning, like how it all started, right?
Okay.
So tell us how you met him, and how the relationship was in the beginning, because we all know they don't come to you crazy. They ain't
Oh,
crazy from the
absolutely
beginning,
not.
right? Oh,
Mm-mm.
they ain't crazy at first. All
Oh
right,
no.
so how'd you meet him, and how was the relationship in the beginning?
Okay, in the beginning, so I met him. It was 4th of July weekend. It's hot summer day, July 4th, 2005. Well, I am sitting at a red light in my car, and I look to the left of me, and this is this guy on this Harley Davidson motorcycle. I
Yeah.
mean, he could be, Ghost from Power.
Oh, girl, don't talk to me about Ghost
Girl,
from Power. Don't.
he could be his twin, honey. I mean, fine, okay, fine. So he over there with the bald head glistening, the muscles bulging, and girl, the beautiful smile. I'm like, hello, how you
You
doing?
like, hey, boo.
Okay. Absolutely. So he said, wind down your window. So we, exchanged a couple of words. And he said, can you just pull over to the gas station? Let me talk to you for a minute. He said, I think I know you. I'm like, okay. So I pulled over and we had a little
Well,
conversation.
wait a minute, because we are at Andrews, and ain't that many people at Andrews.
Exactly.
I'm just
Exactly.
messing with
So
you. I'm just
I could
messing with
tell who he was related to. You could tell by the features because it's a
you.
small town. So I'm like, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So I went to school with his cousins. He went to school with my cousins because he was older
Okay.
than me. So I knew kind
Yep.
of him, but I didn't really know him.
Yep.
So we exchanged numbers and we said we may connect before we leave the weekend, or we'll just talk next week. So we were having this car and bike show, because there's
Yeah.
nothing else to do. So that's what we had. So
Yeah.
someday I'm asking all my friends about this guy. Do you know this guy? Do you know anything about him? Anything I should know about him? But everyone's like, no, he's a good guy. He graduated, went to Delaware, and he comes back every now and again. Always looks nice. Always driving a nice car, dressed nice, and there's nothing,
Yeah.
nothing about him. I'm like, okay, okay. So we continued to talk over the phone um, that week, and then that next weekend he wanted to come back to Charlotte to see me because I was living
Okay.
in Charlotte and he was living in Delaware.
Oh, he was in Delaware. Okay.
Yeah, so he drove. We were both home for a funeral actually that weekend. So he drove from Delaware to Charlotte actually like every weekend going forward, like every
Mm.
weekend.
You
So
must
it's
have been looking real good that day in the
I
car.
mean,
He's
it
like,
is what it is.
let me holler.
Yeah,
These
so
dudes are a trip, man. We're laughing
yeah,
because we're past it, right? And we can look
yes.
back on it. But the truth of the matter is, they come hard, don't they? They
It's all
bring
a
it.
part of the plan. That's how they
They
do it. They're
bring it.
very cunning and strategic in what they do. It was
Yes,
sweep
they
you
do.
off your feet. I mean, lavish gifts and money and trips and all this stuff. I'm like, wow, like, okay.
Nothing too good for you. Was it
What?
nothing too? I remember nothing was too good
You're
for me.
right. Anything I
Oh
wanted, I
my
got.
gosh.
Yes.
Listen, you got a couple people wanting to say hey to you.
Okay.
This is Barbara. She's come on
Hey,
here a couple of times. Hi, Barbara. Good to see you. Hey, listen, Barbara, if you can hit that share button, share it to at least one group or tag one person, because we are about to go in on this story,
Mm,
which is an important story. And
yes.
not just that, but the victory on the other side is
Yes.
even better. It's even sweeter. This is Miss Johnny. Thanks. She says, thank you for sharing your story, Queen. Miss Johnny, if you can hit that share button, find one person, one Facebook group you're a part of. Just hit that share button. We appreciate y'all joining us. So here we go, right? You met him. He was fine. Not just fine, he was fine. Had the nerve to be on a motorcycle too, so that adds to the sexy and the mystique, right? That whole thing. You look good. He looked good. Nobody said anything bad about him, right? You asked around, but nobody was like, girl, don't do it, girl. Don't date him, girl. Nobody said that. So, all right. So we fast forward into the relationship,
Mm-hmm.
and then we realize something ain't so good,
Mm.
because there comes a point when he decides to put his hands on you. So what I want to ask you is, what happened that first time that he put his hands on you?
So that first time we were at my best friend's birthday party in Atlanta,
Yep. Yep.
her 30th birthday party. So the whole trip there, we were arguing the whole way
Mm.
because actually by this time we were married, but
Oh, okay.
no one knew we were married.
Okay.
Okay, we got married in secret.
Because it was too fast. You got married kind of
Yeah,
fast.
yeah.
Mm.
Isn't that
Yeah,
how
but
it
listen,
happens?
this is the truth of our story, right? This is the truth of our
Yes.
story, right? So how long into the relationship did you marry him?
I think it was maybe 6 months.
Yeah, this is the truth of a story. Our story. It is. It
Yes.
just is, right? I know
Yeah.
my whole thing. My dude moved in at 9 months. He shouldn't have been there. So keep
Mm.
going. So y'all were
He
married.
moved in at 3 months. Yeah.
He moved in at 3 months.
So
So
let's be
like
married because
when you think about things like that, you like, that's a never to do again, and that's a never going to do again, right?
absolutely do
The
not
lessons we
rush
learn.
at all. Yes,
The lessons we
absolutely.
learn. So
Right.
you go to your friend's party. You are married now, but nobody's aware yet,
Right.
just yet. Okay.
Right. So we were arguing the whole way because he had females still calling him and texting him all times of night. So the whole way we were arguing about, okay, delete these numbers. We're married now, but he wanted to do it his way. He wanted to take his time. He wanted to explain to them why he was, cutting them off. I'm like,
Dude, you married. What's the explanation?
right, exactly.
Okay.
So
Okay.
he did it, but he was pissed.
Okay.
Okay, he was pissed. So he ended up falling asleep. So I'm driving. It's dark in Atlanta. If you miss one exit, I don't know where I am. I'm on this loop somewhere. He's not helping me. So we're both like in this mood by this point. So I finally make it to my friend's house.
Right.
So I'm glad I'm there because I'm tired of the situation going on. So I
Yep.
know everyone there is like, my classmates, my friends. He doesn't really know anyone. So I'm
Yeah.
in the kitchen with them with my best friend and her younger cousin, who's
Mm-hmm.
always had a crush on me. So my husband is sitting on the couch
Mm-hmm.
eyeing me. I can feel him eyeing me the whole time.
Ooh, don't they?
Yes, because I'm over there, kiki, ha ha ha, having a good old time with my best
And he
friend.
wasn't. So how dare you, right?
Exactly. So anyway, her cousin touched my arm,
Mm-hmm.
and when he saw that, he got up off that couch, grabbed me by the arm. I need to see you outside now.
Mm.
Like, okay. So as soon as we got outside that door, he bought me this real thick herringbone necklace, which I hate, but he wanted me to wear it. He
Right.
snatched it off my neck, scraped my neck, and he just punched me in the face.
Oof.
And I fell over into like the bushes. And I must have screamed really loud because my best friend came rushing out that door. And she was like, "Oh, heck no."
I
So,
know she ain't say that. I know what she actually said.
well,
I know what she actually said. He punched you in your face like a man he was fighting in the street.
yes,
To the
absolutely.
point where you flew into the bushes and said, fell into the bushes.
Yes. So she called every dude in that house to come outside and they chased him down. They were gonna,
Mm-hmm.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
So he ran, he tried to get into his trunk to get his gun, but he wasn't fast enough. So he jumped in
Right.
the car, locked the doors, They jumped all over that car, trying to get him out of
Mm.
that car. They
Oh my
busted
God.
his windshield out the car, out the front. Oh, windshield was busted out, trying to grab him out the car. Okay.
Oof.
So he got away. He got away. And went back in and we went upstairs and we talked and we cried and we talked. And the next morning I went and filed a police report in Atlanta.
Hmm.
I was able to get a ride back home with a friend. And when I got back to Charlotte, I got a restraining order in Charlotte.
My goodness gracious. But the story didn't end there, huh?
No, we were separated for maybe 3 months at the time because we did have a wedding planned.
Yeah.
You don't want to waste the money, waste people's time. He has all this stuff going on. Like, okay, of course he's apologizing. He's promising he's
But
going
of
to
course it
change.
is,
He's going to get
right?
counseling. He doesn't know what got into him. It'll never happen again. So I let him come back. Let him come
And
back.
you know, Latasha, the truth of the matter is, A, you were married to him, right? You know, we don't want to believe that that's even the person that we're with. Like, this has to be out of character because
It
everything
is.
to that point, this is what we're telling ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Everything to that point, he was some other person. This isn't him, right? So
Right.
now I am surprised. Now I will tell you this. I
Mm-hmm.
am surprised that the first time he put his hands on you was in such a public situation.
Yeah, that's true.
Because usually it's like behind closed doors and you're like, but he was in a situation where he was where all your people were.
I
And
guess
he
because we
was
were outside, he thought maybe we were alone outside and I wouldn't say anything or whatever. I don't know.
maybe,
But she heard me scream, and that
girl.
was it.
Listen, I'm gonna ask you to go back a little bit, right? And this gets a little tough because some things are hard for us to recall. They just are. But I'm going to ask you to go back just a little bit and
Mm-hmm.
tell us about some. So that was the first time he put his hands on you. Tell
Mm-hmm.
us about some of those other like painful or scary moments that you remember, those
Mm-hmm.
moments of abuse that you will like never forget.
Well, even though we were married, we hadn't had our actual ceremony yet. So once
Right.
we had our ceremony that June, we went on a honeymoon.
Yep.
Went to the Bahamas, went there, stayed for a week. And so I also discovered during this time he had a gambling problem.
Mm,
So he
this is
was buying me
familiar to me too.
buying all these expensive gifts and going to the casino, losing money. And so one night I tried to stop him. I'm like, listen, okay, you don't need to go back to the casino. This is all we have. I
Right.
don't want you to lose this money, all our money. Okay. So we had our words back and forth. And once again, he punched me
Mm, in
in
your
the face,
face.
in the face. So
Is he leaving marks at this point? Like, are you getting bruised?
I don't think I had any bruises. No,
Okay.
I had any bruises. Not at that
Ah.
point. Now, when
Now,
he
now,
did,
hold on, everybody, rewind just for 1 second. This is this is Latasha. As you can see, how everything about her is regal, right? Everything about her.
thank you.
This man who appeared in her life as this, oh God, handsome. Nothing was too good for her. Gotta have
Mhm.
her. I gotta have him. Nobody said anything about what was wrong with him.
Mhm.
Nobody gave any warnings that he was likely going to be this kind of person. She admits, hey, a lot of us did it, moved a little too fast, probably a lot too fast, right? We a lot of us did that. But to discover that this is a man who is not just verbally abusive, but physically violent. So first time he put his hands on her was a punch in the face on their honeymoon, punches her in the face. Like I struggle with those men. I tell people all the time, I'm gonna rally all them mofos up. I don't curse, so I'm gonna rally all them mofos up and I'm gonna send them all to freaking Mars and let them
Mm,
sit there together and let them handle themselves. That's where they need to go, right there.
exactly.
Anyway, so you're on your honeymoon. He's got a
Mhm.
gambling situation. He's spending up all the money. He basically said, "How dare you question me?" I guess, right? You ain't gonna
Right,
tell me what to do. And he hits
right.
you in your face again.
Left me in the room crying. He went back to the casino, lost every dime we had.
Oof.
Then, so we
And
so
y'all
we're
were
on,
in what city and state?
we were in the Bahamas.
You were in the
On
Bahamas
a
with no
honeymoon,
money.
no money. We had like 2 days left, and so we took a boat over there, and we stayed on the island for a week. and then we
Yep.
took the boat back to Florida, to the
Right.
port.
Right.
So we're back on the boat on the way back to the port, and we're in this room watching a movie. So we're on the boat, and over the intercom they call his name to come to customs. And I was like, did they just say your name? He was like,
Right.
yeah. I said, what do they want you in customs for? So we found our way to customs. They told me to stay. They wouldn't let me go with them. So I had to sit and wait, wonder what's going on. It was like over an hour. I'm sitting there like, okay, no one's telling me anything. Is something wrong? Is something happened? What's going on?
Mm.
So someone finally came back to me and said, we're going to detain your husband. He's under arrest. And I was like, he had an outstanding warrant in Camden, New Jersey for
Uh,
another female he had assaulted.
the things we find out in the moment.
Yes, yes, yes. I'm like, okay, he's going to jail. I don't have any money. I am all the way in Florida. I live in Charlotte. Like, okay, this is not
What a
happening.
honeymoon. Baby girl.
Yeah, so they let me go down and speak to him real quick. And he's like, they have nothing on me. They've already questioned me about this years ago. They didn't have anything on me then. It's not going to stick. I'll be home soon, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay.
Oh my
What they
God.
told me he got arrested for was breaking into a woman's bedroom window and beating her with a chain while she was in bed asleep with a 6-year-old daughter laying beside her.
I don't remember you telling me this.
I was
So,
like,
so, okay. So
yeah.
now he's getting hauled off to jail. You are in trying to get home with no money. What did you do? Like, oh my
So
God.
he so happened to have some relatives in the area. So
Oh,
he
okay.
said, here, take this number, call them, tell them you're going to stay with them tonight. Because I got paid the next day. It was going to be a
Oh,
Friday.
okay.
So I was going
Thank
to get
God.
paid. So he said,
Okay.
just stay
Okay.
there overnight and then you can, go back home tomorrow. So I'm going back, driving all the way. Boo-hoo. I don't know how I made it back. I was crying the
Because you like,
whole
look at my life
way.
now. Like, what did
Yeah,
I just
it's like,
do?
what did I just do? So I had
Hey,
to
you
get
got a
back.
couple people writing to you too, real quick. Do you know Jonathan Parker?
I do not.
Well, Jonathan, thank you, because he put a few comments, and I'm gonna show you his comments because he's really contributing. And I just want you to know, Jonathan, if you are still listening, we appreciate you. He said, "Good job, ladies had to deal with domestic violence." How about this one? He says,
Mm,
"My father was very abusive against my mother,
mm,
beating her and threatening to make me and my brother disappear if she left, if she would leave. She
wow.
hated him, but he had to have sex every night, basically raping her."
Oh my God.
Jonathan, let
Wow.
me tell I appreciate you. You and I should probably actually really, really talk,
Yes.
because a lot of people ask me, when am I going to have people on here who are children of victims
Mm,
and to tell their side of the story. So, Jonathan, thank you. He has one more comment in here. Hold on, Queen. Oh, he has two more comments. He said, when my mom was pregnant with me and was cooking some butter from the pan, and was cooking, some butter from the pan landed on a tile of the kitchen. He threw a knife at her.
oh my God.
The simplest thing, right? The simplest thing, and he
Yes.
wants to throw a knife at her. He
Wow.
said the man measured how towels were being folded with a ruler.
Oh my God.
Jonathan, listen,
Thanks for
I don't know.
sharing, Jonathan.
You're watching from YouTube. It looks like you're watching from YouTube. I don't know if you
Mm,
can share this some kind of way, but my God, you
wow.
and I, if you can contact me, I'm on Facebook as Angelique Dees Pierce. I'm gonna put it in the comments. I want to talk to you, sir. Um,
Absolutely.
you and I should have a conversation. You and I should have a conversation for
Thanks for
sure.
sharing. My goodness.
Oh my gosh. And I hope you are getting some of what you need in terms of healing. Look,
Absolutely.
Miss Johnny said, please have him on your show. My goodness gracious.
Yes.
So hold on real quick. Barbara, now Barbara's been on here. She's watched a few times. She says, I am one of those children. I lost my mother to domestic violence.
She sure
Yes,
did.
indeed.
She sure did.
So
And I lost my brother to domestic violence. I don't know if I told you that.
you did not.
Yeah, he was
Oh
killed
my
by his
gosh.
girlfriend at the age of 27.
Mm, mm,
Died
mm, mm.
within. Mm-hmm.
My God. So now you stay with his family. I'm sorry, I had to bring he was commenting so much, I had
Yes,
to bring it up.
absolutely. Yeah.
So you stay with his family, then you make
Mhm.
your way home. You're in a car. Is it a rental car, I'm assuming?
Yes.
Yeah, you drive yourself back home and you crying the whole way. Y'all listen, this is Latysha. She's got a story and a half. And I'm telling you, I can't wait till we get to the other side because the stuff she's doing today is just phenomenal to me. Any other moments you want to share? I know you told me one more I think you shared with me.
Yeah. About this hour
Um,
here.
yeah, okay, all right. So
Yes,
so
yes.
let's get right to that.
So and he bought me a cell phone, even though I had
Yep.
my own cell phone. He was able to, he can track my calls, track my text messages, track me probably. So he was tying me. And if I didn't get home within a certain, time frame, he would
Mm-hmm.
automatically start accusing me of cheating or doing something wrong. So this one time, I didn't get home as quickly as he wanted me to. So when
Mm,
I got there, he had left my kids alone. There were 2 and 4 at the time. So he left them there alone. When he got back later that night, I was cooking dinner, and he started going in on me about not answering my phone. Like, so why did I buy you a phone if you're not going to answer it? And I said, well, you can have your phone back.
right, like I got one.
But why did I say that?
Why did you say that?
Girl, he got it from that table, and whatever he was eating in some like a porcelain or white porcelain bowl, he came over there and he slammed it in my face.
Mm,
And it was like a hard, I don't know what I call it,
uh,
porcelain bowl, and it cut my eyelid. And that's why one of my eyes droop. I can't tell right now. One of them droop because they cut my eyelid.
right.
That was crazy. And I mean, there were times that he would, strangle me during sex. There was times where he would strangle me up against a wall by my neck, and he would threaten to punch me if I breathed. I'm like, how
Oh,
can I not breathe? I'm trying to gasp for air as it is,
and
and I'm
you're
afraid.
because you got your hand on my throat and
Yes,
you're telling me not to breathe.
right,
Like, don't breathe or I'm gonna do something else to you. What? I mean,
exactly.
God,
But
I'm telling you.
it's just that fear they put in you, like, cause he was very strong, very muscular, and it's like he's holding me up on my neck against the wall where I can't breathe as it is. So
Queen,
it
I
was
am
so many
telling you,
things.
you are a Christian woman like me, and I am convinced that
Mm,
that is demonic. I am
absolutely,
convinced it is demonic.
you can
And
see with their eyes.
you can see in their eyes.
Mm.
I know that look. I know exactly the look that you're talking about. And it makes you go, I don't want to do another thing wrong, say another
You don't
thing
want to
because
move.
I
You
don't
want
want to
to
move because I don't know what's coming after that.
right.
All right.
Absolutely.
Thank God for your life. That's all I'm gonna say. Thank God for
Mm,
your life.
thank you.
So I want you to, ooh, everybody's got like one of those situations where it was, I no more. I have got to go. So
Oh
if you
yes.
would share with us, what was that final situation for you with
Mm.
your abuser that made you know beyond a shadow of a doubt that you had to jump, that it was time to go? What was that situation?
Yeah, it came down to it was going to be either him or me,
Mm-hmm.
as I had had enough. And I don't know what it was that set him off this time. As usual, I was in the office, working in the house in the office, and I guess he must have been calling me, and I didn't hear him. I don't know, but he
Yep.
came in there, threw the desk over, threw the computer over, it was a glass desk. He broke the glass desk. So we're in there tussling and fighting, and so I
And
tried
let
to
me
get
just make
away.
sure it's because you didn't respond when he called you because you hadn't heard him. So all this starts because you didn't respond when he called your name.
Yes.
All right, I'm listening.
Mind you, I'm in the office working, like I'm working. Okay. So anyway, so trashed the whole office, tearing everything off the wall, everything, just acting like a maniac. So I'm running, I run out, try to get out the house actually. And he chased me all through the kitchen, through the living room. I grabbed a knife. I remember now I grabbed a knife and I actually cut him. I
Mm.
forgot about that because I remember he used that same bloody t-shirt in court to try to use it against me, like I tried to hurt him.
Oh,
He
yep.
caught the bloody t-shirt to court. But anyway, yeah, so I did cut him. He got the knife away from me. I ran back to the bedroom because my 2 sons were still in their bedroom. So I ran back to that direction, went in the bedroom, tried to close the door, couldn't close the door, got into the master bathroom. He kicked the door in. I mean, I don't know what happened. Like everything was just torn to pieces. He broke the toilet in half somehow. There was water gushing out everywhere. I'm like, what in the world? So I'm sitting on the floor in glass and water, crying. And he just said, okay. He left. But before he left, he said, clean up all this mess.
Oh,
I'll
of
be back.
course.
I'll be
Oh,
back.
right. You clean up all the mess. You do
Yeah,
that.
right.
I can't stand any of them. I can't stand them.
So once I did all of that, got everything cleaned up,
Were your
showered.
babies nearby? Were they able to? They stay in their room almost.
They didn't come out the room. I did go in and check on them. They were okay. I know they had to hear it.
Right. Right.
If they've seen it before, they heard it before, they've come out and they've seen the house a mess. They've
Yeah.
seen me a mess. So they've seen
Right.
it. So when he got back and he came back, got in the bed, like nothing ever happened as usual, sound asleep.
Like nothing was wrong.
And
Like all was well.
And I
Oh,
had a feeling because he was cheating on me, even though he always accused me of cheating. He actually had a baby on me. He was sleeping with our clients and everything. So he must have went to see one of the clients, came back home, laying there beside me like everything's okay. By this time, I was just I was done. So I went to the kitchen. I got a hammer. Came back to the bedroom. I'm standing over him with this hammer in my hand. And everything in me wanted to bash his skull in. I was just so fed up. I'm like, I don't do anything to you. Why do you always want to hurt me? I wanted to just give it back to him. But I thought about my kids and I said, either, I'm not going to kill him. He's going to kill me.
Yep.
Or if I do kill him, I'm going to prison.
I'm going to jail. Yeah.
Then my kids won't have a mother either way.
Yep.
It's not worth it.
It's not worth it. I'm so glad you did not do that. Everything, the trajectory of your life and your baby's lives, like these two men that you were proud of today, that are with you today,
yes,
whole different lifestyle for them. I'm so proud you didn't do that. Hey, we got somebody else who wants to say something to you. Barbara's hanging on with us tonight. She said, Tasha, I'm so proud of you, and I'm glad that I was a friend that walked with you through this trauma. Friends don't let friends walk and fight alone. No longer silent. I love you to life.
Oh, you make
me cry. To that.
That's my people.
Amen to that.
She's always been there.
Oh my gosh. All right. So if I were to ask you, it's like, how do you even summarize this? But what domestic violence cost you, right? It could be mental, it can be financial, spiritual, sexual, whatever. What did domestic violence cost you?
It cost me my peace of mind. Just having to walk on eggshells, not sure where he's going to just go off for no reason. Sometimes my sanity, thinking, did I do something to cause this? Because he was trying to make me feel like I did something to cause it. I lost my identity. Like you say, I am a fashionista. I love to dress and, but he took that away from me. He wouldn't even let me wear pants. Like he took all my pants and told me all I could wear was dresses. So I can't even express myself the way I want to because of his insecurities. I mean, he controlled all the money.
Yep.
He's real good with finances, I admit, but it put me in a situation where I didn't have control of my own money. He gave me an allowance. He gave me super gas in my car. So if I needed money, I had to ask him for money, even though I'm working. I have a great job at a bank.
That's what I want to clarify. He gave you an allowance even out of your own money? Mm-hmm. Yeah, see, we got
a problem.
We got
a problem.
I am like, sometimes I listen I know you have more to share, but sometimes I listen and I just go, like, how do you get the nerve to think that you can just take over someone's life and decide that they can only have what you give them, that they will always be in fear, have no peace. Like I tell people all the time, my story, sleep deprivation was a part of my story. He made sure I barely got a chance to rest. so that I could, because I'm a very mental person, very analytical. He knew if my mind was tired, then I wouldn't be able to function. And he wouldn't let me sleep at times, constantly waking me up 2 hours at a time, 3 hours at a time. I'm like, when the heck you sleep even? It was
Wow.
bad. So anyway, girl, what else? I mean, I'm thinking spiritually. I mean, all of that.
Yes, yes. Of course, he used that too. Like he would say things like, if God can forgive me, why can't you forgive me? We
Oh,
would.
see.
You know
That's
better
when
than
you be like, well,
I.
guess what? I ain't God. How about that? So guess what? I ain't got to do
Yeah,
that.
yeah. We're gonna fast. We're gonna pray. We're gonna do these
Oh,
things to heal him. I don't have to go to counseling. We'll go speak to the pastor and that kind of stuff. But
that spiritual abuse is
yeah,
just disgusting
mm-mm.
because that's all it is
It's
using your faith
definitely
against you. Is using your faith, pray, fast, let's go to counseling. Is using it against you.
mm-mm.
Real quick, I got a couple people talking to you. Sheila Madison, that's my family right there. She said, God bless
Oh,
you. That's
hi
my family
Sheila.
right there.
Thank you.
Sheila, Barbara, Jonathan, there's a new one. Phyllis, always, Phyllis, this is a friend of yours.
Yeah.
Hi, Phyllis. Always knew your faith in God was truly in your heart. God always protects. Love you, Tasha.
Love you too.
Phyllis, listen, if you could think of
Mm.
somebody else that you want to make sure they hear this, because listen, this woman right here, you know better than I do. You knew her longer than I know her. If you could think of a person or a Facebook group to share this to, because her story is amazing to me. She's just awesome. So Phyllis, Sheila, Barbara, Jonathan, whoever, everybody out there, if you could think of somebody to share this, share it now. Tag somebody into this. Invite them in. So, oh my gosh, anything else about what it cost you that you want to share? Because we about to go into
Must be
what
my
you do
best
now.
friend. My best friend.
Ooh,
The one that,
wait.
yeah. So after we've never been the same since that time because I didn't leave and because I went back to him. She was just so terrified that something was going to happen to me that she couldn't even
Right.
continue to communicate with me. It was just too much for her.
Oh,
We have not been the same since.
now I lost my best friend. Her name is Tanara. I lost
Mm,
my best friend in the process, but my abuser was very deliberate in getting her out of his way because
mm,
he knew she was my rock, and she is still to this day. Now, thank God we were able to reconcile, and she came back. We are 100%, right?
that's
And she's
good.
uncovering more and more about my story and learning more and more every day. And she's a
That's
huge
good.
part of my healing. So I'm just gonna still pray for you and your friend. I'm
Thank
gonna
you.
still pray for that because when I lost my girl, you know how they say somebody's your person. She was my person. I had
Yeah.
lost my person, and I knew her since we were 5 years old, literally
Wow.
kindergarten, and he knew he had to get her out the
Yeah,
way.
they found that person. They found that person that they know is your
Mm-hmm.
back. Yeah, they're gonna have your
Mm-hmm.
back, and they made
Yep.
sure they try to do something to isolate you from them.
Oh, look, Summer. Oh, Summer, we got to meet, girl. This has been a phenomenal moment of God, and glad you're able to tell your
Mm,
stories. And I have shared this with others. Thank you, Summer. God truly has work for you
Summer.
to do, sis. Love you much.
Love you too, sis.
Oh my God, you got some fans out here, girl. Listen, they like people like you. Apparently, people like you.
Apparently.
Listen, that's because you're awesome. Now, listen, I want to get to the other
Mm,
side of this because this is the part. This is
okay.
the part right here that gets me. Y'all, listen, I'm going to start early. Hold on, because I'm so proud of this woman that is joining me on this show that I have to, before she says a word, let me paste something into into the chat because I wanted to be there the whole time we are talking. And let me show this. Here we go. Listen, it ran together somehow.
Oh,
www.latashacoleman.com, latasha.coleman@gmail.com, phone number. That's her mobile. Listen, you see the mention of a book there, the Image in the Mirror anthology. We're going to get to that. Okay. In just a second, we're going to get to that. Now, here's the question. You have done way more than survive. We all survived. We escaped. We all that, right? You actually really did turn your pain into purpose. You are doing it today. I just, oh my, I am proud of you.
thank
And
you.
you are doing some amazing things. You are not only a domestic violence counselor, you are an author, you are a certified life coach, you speak. Let's talk about all of it. Let's
Okay.
talk about all of it. Let's start what you do as a domestic violence counselor. Let's start with that.
Okay. So I am a domestic violence counselor for the Charlotte Mecklenburg Police Department. And so we support the detectives in the domestic violence unit, special
Yep.
victims division.
Yep.
So we speak to victims who have filed police reports. So as an counselor, we have to contact them within 72 hours of the incident.
Yes.
So we provide them with crisis intervention, safety planning. We help them to get a restraining order. We educate them on like the civil and criminal process.
Yes.
Provide them with referrals to our other partner agencies in Mecklenburg County, like Safe Alliance
Hmm.
and our community support services. If they need group counseling, individual counseling, to go to the domestic violence shelter,
Yes.
financial assistance, legal assistance, anything they need is all free to them.
Yeah. My goodness. And again, this is a situation where, because I said to you before, I was like, how come I never knew about this unit, right? But this
Yeah,
is a situation where police have arrived on the scene. There has been some criminal activity, something that is truly considered criminal by police.
right. Hmm.
Um, and then from that, a police report is filed, and those report you guys are brought in because you ladies are brought in because of that.
Right.
There's some connection to, okay. All right. So when I was going through my stuff, I think I was telling you that
Mhm.
every time the police came, nothing, no matter how bad it was, he was wise enough not to bruise my face,
That's the
not to leave
thing.
any marks,
Hmm.
nothing, no blood, nothing. And because of that, they kept, we can't arrest him. There's nothing criminal here. There's nothing criminal
Right.
here, right? So there was no real police report. So I wouldn't have
Mhm.
met you because he was a little bit,
Right.
he was on his game. He was on his game, I guess, from that
Mhm.
perspective. So
Wow.
today you help victims. You
Yes.
help them to find places to stay, resources, finances, all kinds of, and probably just talk to them because you
Mhm.
are basically almost like peer support. You
Right.
know this the situation. You've been through it. You understand.
Absolutely.
That's the part.
That's
That's
why
the
that's
part.
why I love doing it because I've been there. I can relate. There's no judgment. There's no I understand this.
Yep.
I'm just here to provide whatever you need for where you are right now. You know.
Yes, indeed. We got somebody else said, yes, we love you. You got some people in your corner, man. You really do. You
I
really
love
do.
you,
One more. Look,
Tamika.
one more. She is definitely awesome. Hey.
That's my
Yes,
sis.
indeed. Listen, I know I'm gonna paste it in there one by one, but Tasha,
Okay.
let's talk about what you've done in terms of writing. This is the
Whew.
part right here that I just get
Yes.
so excited. So let's talk about that.
Yes, I was a part of an awesome anthology, one of my proudest accomplishments. It was the
Yes,
first time I
indeed.
actually told my story. So I was a little nervous, but I knew I had to do it. I had to put my story out there. And it was 20 of us. And we started
Hmm.
off doing this 30 days of journaling. I think it was one of my mentors. And
Yeah.
it turned into a writing challenge and it turned into an anthology. And I mean, I told some of the things we spoke about earlier on the podcast, but
Hmm.
so many other situations
Oh
that
my
it
gosh.
it is how I got there. I had to dig deep from going through counseling myself, being in mentor support groups, and just figuring out what got me there.
Yes.
If you don't figure out what got you there, you'll repeat the same
You
cycles.
repeat the same cycle.
Yeah.
Yes. That's
So
where the
just
truth comes in. That's where
right,
telling your truth. That's why when we were talking earlier and you were like, he moved in and we got married at, yep, that's what happened.
red
That's what
flag.
happened. Red flag, right?
Right,
And
right.
that's the stuff that if you don't own the part of it that you're like, okay, let me clarify one thing. Never is the victim responsible for her own or his own abuse. Never. Are there things we could have done differently to buy us more time to learn about the person? Yes.
Right.
But we are not responsible for what someone else did to us.
Not at
What we
all.
are responsible for is finding that courage and protecting ourselves and protecting our babies and getting away. How
Absolutely.
long that takes, what the process is, and how to do it safely is different for every person.
Hmm.
But it is not our fault that someone else manipulated and abused. And I don't want if anybody is watching right now, I do not want you to be confused. You did not abuse yourself. Someone did that to you. They don't have the right. They never did. All right. So, who's Shamika? You know Shamika?
I don't.
She said, yes, that's what happened. I don't know.
Mm.
Okay. All
She
right.
can relate.
Barbara said amen. Barbara said amen.
Yeah,
Shamika said amen. Listen, we do not blame victims for what someone did to them. What we
absolutely.
will say is, at some point, you have got to find the strength and the courage to get out. And it
Amen.
takes people like me and you to tell our stories, to let people see there is another side.
Amen.
There is an after the abuse. It ain't
Absolutely.
easy, but there is. Barbara said one more thing. It is not your fault. Listen, Latysha was just telling us about this book that it was a total of 20 people. It is called In the Image in the Mirror. Show it to us. Can you see it? The Image in the Mirror. It's an anthology, 20 different women, and she was among them telling her
Yes.
story. I cannot wait. I don't have that book and I'm getting it. Listen, I'm going to put
Thank
the,
you.
listen, you can reach out to her, latysha.coleman@gmail.com. Also, let me throw up her website real quick. Ain't nobody name spelled like her name, so it won't be that hard to find, okay?
Absolutely not.
It will not be hard.
You got that right.
Let me just say this. Listen, go out to that website, buy the book. Please buy this book. It
Thank
is
you.
packed full of
Hmm.
amazing stories of women who have survived. Are there any men in the book? I want to be clear.
No.
No, 20 women. Okay, all right.
Mhm.
And you're one of them. Anything in
Yes.
particular you want to share about that book? Anything else?
The book is just about, it's called The Image in the Mirror, and it's a reflection that inspired the courage to live limitlessly. And it's
Yes.
about women who overcame trauma from child abuse to divorce to alcoholism to molestation, domestic violence, and just how they overcame that trauma and turned it into purpose.
Mm-hmm. Listen, and look at that. Phyllis said it's a great book. I know it is. I know it is. Listen, go out to her website, latyshacoleman.com, and check it out. That is where you can buy the book, order it, support her. Because as you can see, she is giving back. Latysha's giving back. This is her job is to give back. Like that's awesome. I work my corporate job and then I do this stuff on the side, right?
Mhm.
Your job is literally to support victims and survivors of domestic violence. And I just find that to be phenomenal. Like this is, it isn't just a thing on the side. And I'm not just saying what I'm doing is just a thing, you know what I mean? But
No, I was a
you,
company
you
member
know what I'm trying to
too.
say?
Right.
You
I was
made
doing
it.
something on the side as an advocate for Safe
Yeah.
Alliance. Mhm.
And this is like what you do now for people. I just applaud you. I hope you understand. I respect it so much
Thank you. Thank
because
you.
it's easy to be out here and say, no, I'm gonna do this other thing right here that's going, but you're saying it means that much that
Mm.
you walk this walk during the day for your 9 to 5, let's call it, and then even afterward. So oh my gosh. Hold on, Shamika got something else she want to say. Wait a minute. We got some good comments tonight. I made it out because God had better plans for me. Let me
Amen.
just make,
Yes, you did, girl.
wait a
Yes.
minute. Let me make a comment. Shamika, listen, you are absolutely correct. I tell women all the time, I don't care what church you were raised in. I don't care if you were raised to believe the divorce was bad. I don't care. Let me tell you something. There are certain things that we know about God. Now y'all about to make me preach. There are
Mm.
certain things that we know about God.
Amen.
We know that those men, we know that abusers are absolutely in no way, shape, or form God's best for us. They are not
Oh,
God's best
no.
for us. And I
Mm-hmm.
don't care what people in the church tell you.
Mm.
You do not deserve to be abused.
Amen.
I'm sorry, and the church can frustrate me sometimes, and it's
Yeah.
not all churches. But for those who do not truly speak up and who do not protect the sheep in the flock and
Mm.
say that this is not okay, they
Shame on them.
drive me crazy. That was my story. That was my story.
Mm.
Literally, my story. My husband, ex-husband, and
Mm.
that whole situation with his family in the church. That was my story. Never
Wow.
told me nothing. Never held him to really be accountable. Showing up on Sundays, cussing me out all the way to church, sitting there next to me with his arm on my shoulder in the third pew because we the pastor's family and all that. Get
Wow.
back in the car and I'm trash all the way home.
Wow.
I can't stand it. So listen, if I could say nothing else, we are women of God. We are God's girls. We are his daughters.
Yes. Mm. That's what my chapter is called, Daddy's Girl.
Daddy's girl. Her chapter
Yeah.
is called Daddy's Girl. He
Mm-hmm.
is the most high. And that is exactly how we should be treated. And I
Mm-hmm.
am sick of people using that, using things and using spiritual things and
Mm-hmm.
twisting them to abuse. or to even allow abuse to continue. That is where I need these church leaders to stand up and stop being, I'm going to say it, stop being punks and stop letting people run through your church and destroy what you know God has set up to be righteous.
Yeah. Marriage is supposed to be a beautiful thing.
Thank you. It's a covenant. It's a covenant. So, all right. I got a lot of people now that comment like, was this girl going off? Because I'm just, ooh.
Girl.
So, wait a minute. Someone said, preach.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, my God. Let me go through it all. Buy it now and send a gift to a friend or family member for the holidays. Barbara said, hallelujah. I know that's a great comment. Thank you. Thank you, Summer. That's a great comment. Let me keep going. Shamika said, I prayed my way out. That's what I was told. I thought I was going against God. See, that's the part. That's the part. That was not God's best for you. It was not. Love does not hurt. People do. Thank you. Shamika said, amen. Y'all about to be some of my new faves. Y'all about to be my new faves up on here. My God. All right. So I don't want to cut anything short because you just, you do it for me, girl. You do it for me. So you got this book. You are in it. And I am so proud of you. The chapter is called Daddy's Girl. It is chapter, did you say 16?
16.
Chapter 16, y'all. Chapter 16. Show the book one more time. Here we go. I know it's so weird, right? It's that mirror thing. It is beautiful. The image in the mirror. She's in chapter 16. It's called Daddy's Girl, Miss Latysha Coleman.
And it's 3 sections. It's faith, family, and fight. I'm in the fight section.
Faith, family, and fight. All right. All right. Y'all keep it up. You got a speaking business. You got something that has to do with clothing. Tell us real quick about that. And shoes. Tell us real quick about that.
Healing souls. Oh my God. That
Healing
was
souls. H-E-E-L, right? H-E-E-L-I-N-G. Healing
and
souls.
S-O-L-E-S.
S-O-L-E-S. All right.
That's straight from God himself. Because I was frustrated. I was crying out to God. I was like, God, I'm so tired. I don't have any talents. Like I don't have any. What do I have to offer the kingdom? Like, why? What's even the point? I felt like everything I did, the kindness of my heart was I was being used. I was being abused. I was being hurt. I just felt like I was just not worthy. And God said, healing souls. And I said, healing souls. And it all just unfolded. The idea of the shoes and walking in purpose and walking in power.
Yes.
And I was like, yes, I love making women feel beautiful and confident and uplifting them. And the whole thing just came into play. You know, I name the shoes. They all have names of affirmations because I want women to feel empowered and feel strong. And I haven't done any events in a while because of pandemic, but I do fundraisers. I collect gently used shoes for the women in the shelters, and I donate a portion of my proceeds to domesticshelters.org. Yeah.
Are y'all listening to this woman? What's the whole name? Healing Souls. What's the rest of it?
Healing Soul Shoe Boutique.
Shoe Boutique. Okay. Oh my gosh. Oh, you are just doing it for me. Like oh my God. We have another comment from Phyllis. I got to bring this up because she threw some scripture up on here.
Ooh, Phyllis. All right, girl.
Romans 8:28. And we know that all things work together for the good to them that love God, to them who are called to his purpose. God brought you out and you are doing his purpose. Healing Souls, Lady L.
Call me Lady L.
You got a little bit of a fan base. Wait a minute.
Ain't God good?
God is good. You got a fan base. You know why? Because you have that sun. I told you got like a regalness about you. I can't explain it. And you got like that sunshine in your face. That's just, I don't know how to explain you, but you are phenomenal. And I feel all your energy and I just do. And I appreciate you. And I pray that this has somehow been super special for you. I want to make sure that you have a chance to say something to close out this, because I know you have some final thoughts to share. You have said so much already, but if you could just, we're coming to a close. It's already a little after 8. I try not to go past 8:15. That's like, I try to keep that there, but What final thoughts would you like to share with the viewing audience? And even there'll be people who will watch the recording later. It could
Okay.
be to victims, it could be to survivors, it could be to whoever, to the abusers. You could speak to whoever you want. What are your final thoughts you'd like to share tonight?
I just want to speak to anyone that's going through domestic violence right now. I want them to know that there is help, there is
Yes.
hope, they're not alone. They can email me, they can call me. I have access to all kinds of resources. Um, I want them to know that they don't deserve it. It's not
Yes.
their fault. And
Mm,
there is life on the other side, and they're deserving of it, of
yes,
love, real
indeed.
love.
Yes, indeed. Ooh. Listen, she said you can email her, right? There's her email right there.
Mhm.
First name dot last name at gmail.com. Okay. She means it 100%. And as you heard Latasha say, she knows what's around us. She knows what's in Charlotte, the Mecklenburg County. This is the stuff that she does in her day-to-day job. She knows the people, the resources, the places to stay, safety measures, safety plans, all that kind of stuff. How to
Absolutely.
file a protection order, whatever it is, right? You're talking to somebody that knows the ins and outs of the system. And she knows how to navigate it. And she knows how to help you navigate it as well. So I just want to say thank you so much for being here.
I think we lost her.
So I'm in the studio, but I think it's still recording, and there's a few people here. So if you can get back in, Tasha, everybody, I don't know what happened. We just lost our internet signal. So random. So I'm gonna try to get Tasha back on and see if she can get back in or not. But listen, I was just closing out and just simply saying, that this whole thing is amazing that there's so many of us. Tasha, if you can come back on, okay? There's so many of us dealing with it. And I find out at work that there are people who have suffered through domestic violence. I find out all kinds of things. And I'm just grateful. Barbara, you have a comment up here. I hope you guys can still hear me. Somebody put a message in and let me know if you can hear me. Just somebody send a quick comment through and let me know if you can hear me again, because we just literally went out on internet signal for no reason. But if you can't hear me, put a comment in real quick and let me know. All right. I'm going to put a message in the chat. Can you still hear me? We lost internet for a moment. Let's see if anybody gives me a quick response. All right, so we're back. Hopefully, there's a couple people still watching, so hopefully they can. You can hear me, Tosh?
Yes.
Okay, hold on. Let's see. All right, I think they can. We got some viewers here. We got all these people still sitting here. A couple people still sitting here. So, oh, good. Thank you, Felicia. I appreciate you, because we don't know what happened. We were in the middle of talking, closing out the show. Thanks, Felicia. She said, I can hear you. All right. Yeah. I mean, I sit back and I think about like at work or at church or wherever you are, the grocery store. Mm-hmm. And if the statistic holds true, which I know it does, and again, I think it's worse, if 1 in 4 women experience domestic violence in their lifetime, sometimes I sit back and I count people, right? Mm-hmm. I think about people at work or wherever I am that I see, and I'm thinking, something's off about you. I bet you're going through. I actually tried to approach somebody before and give her the space to kind of tell me without, being too direct. Mm-hmm. And, it's hard. It's almost hard to even tell yourself that this is my life. Yeah. But here's my prayer. My prayer is that between me and people like you and all the others, even my friend Felicia, who's up here, she does a thing annually for Domestic Violence Awareness Month. That's just like an interview, and she does topics for that month around domestic violence. And I am just hoping that by sharing our stories, giving these examples of the flags and the things we should have watched out for, that other people will go, yeah, I am kind of seeing some of that too, or I don't want to go all the way to the end of this road because I know what's at the end of this road. Let me stop now, right?
Don't collect the red flags.
Don't collect the red flags. Don't. This is not like Ninja Warrior TV show where you got to get this ain't one of those. Don't collect the red flags. Thank you.
One's enough.
So Tasha, if you could just quickly talk to, and we're going to end in 2 minutes, right? Mm-hmm. Talk to the people who are seeing the flags, because you see them in your job on the other side when it's way bad, right?
Yes.
Let's back up down to the beginning, to the people who are seeing some of this stuff. What would you say to them?
Don't ignore it. So many victims want to give them, the abuser, the benefit of the doubt. They want to give them a second chance. Everyone makes mistakes. But these type of men, they don't change. I thought I could pray it away. I thought I could fast it away. I thought God would change him. But if that man does not admit to having an issue on his own and seek help on his own, I don't care if it's court ordered, it doesn't make a difference. He has to be the one that sees it, admits it, and wants to change. Nothing you can't love it out of him. You can't sex it out of him. Save yourself.
And it's not your responsibility to fix him.
It is not.
A lot of us are empaths. We are empathetic people. We take on projects. Who is this for right now? Who out there is this for? We take on projects. Oh, this is my next one and I can fix this. But his mom was this kind of a way, or he was raised like this and that. And I'm going to be the one that, listen, I'm not being mean to you. I'm just telling you what I know.
Every day.
It is not your responsibility to fix a grown man.
Oh man.
Okay?
Absolutely.
Because you know what's going to happen? While you think you're fixing him, he's actually destroying you.
Absolutely.
That's what's really happening.
Just tearing you
So
down little by little.
he is tearing you down, and you think that you're fixing him, but your boundaries are getting pushed more and more and more, and you are becoming less and less of the person you actually are. You are allowing yourself to become small while he's becoming big. Okay,
Absolutely.
so listen, if y'all didn't know, I'm a speaker and I talk, and so me and Latysha got some things we're gonna work on in the
Oh
future,
yeah.
because she and I have a lot of things in common, even in our stories. So you all have been a blessing. Thank you for the people who stayed on to the very end. Even when we lost that internet connection, I knew I
Yes.
had one more thing I wanted to ask Tasha, because she sees the end of the road and she's hoping that less people have to get there, that more of us see this stuff coming and get out before it gets that far where we have to file something that's criminal, a report.
Right.
So you are a blessing. I am getting your book. Anybody that's on my show, whatever they are, my cousin who was on here, she's selling the paint. I bought the painting, right? Like I bought it,
Yes, you
and, I,
did.
and I'm
Yeah.
going to use it. I have a speaking engagement on January 30th. I'm going to use it at that speaking engagement. So anyway, I will order your book. Absolutely. Everybody, good night. It's a Sunday night. I know we're getting ready for work tomorrow. Tasha, any last thing you want to say? Probably not, because I had you talking all night. But any last thing you want to add?
I'm available. If you have any questions, if you or you know somebody else is going through it, you have any questions, need any resources, you need to talk, I'm available.
Absolutely. LatyshaColeman.com. Stop by. She's got a lot of stuff out there, a lot of messages, a way to order that book. Make sure you do it. All right, beauty. Have a good night. Get yourself some rest. Go drink some tea or something and calm and relax yourself. And I just want to say this. I'm thankful. We prayed that prayer. God pour back into both of us,
Yes.
because we
Yes.
pour out every time we do this. She pours out
Yes.
every single day in her job too. So God bless us, move us forward. Let us do this work, because it truly is an honor to you, God, because we are helping to protect your people. So, all right, everybody, good night. Let me just check and see if there's any more comments to you, because I don't want you to miss any comments. We had one last one where Trisha said hello.
Hey,
So,
Trisha.
all right, y'all. I will see y'all next week. I have another guest. She's actually another survivor advocate. I'm looking forward to it. She has her own Facebook page, and she does a lot of work, and she brings God into her conversations all the time. So I will see y'all next week. Have a good night. All right. Good night, Tasha. All right. See you. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.